What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Occult Gaming channel with me, your host Bella Wright, and welcome to Max Payne #1 for the channel. I was gonna start the game up, but I got a few distractions around me. I'm waiting for a phone call, and there's a lawnmower going outside, so I didn't want to start the game with all this stuff pending. But I did wanted to go through the manual with you guys since it is accessible here, and I was just kind of flipping through it. And it's definitely a blast from the past. And I think I actually have the real manual for this game as well. At least I think I do. But yeah, here is the digital manual that is available through the PS4 and likely PS5 stores. And like I say, it is definitely a blast from the past. So I'm just gonna flip through it with you guys and maybe read some of the stuff. Not everything, but we'll just kind of skim through it. And if you guys have this on PS4, just to show you guys like how you can kind of navigate it. And if you guys couldn't read this, instead of the zoom function, which is R3, which doesn't really work, it does zoom this thing over here, but it doesn't zoom the actual screen. Instead of doing that, what you want to do is press options and then magnify. Yep, either that or you have to hold it, which not holding it doesn't work either. Okay, you can kind of get through like that if the words are too small. And I can't zoom out, so I got to do magnify again. Right, so this is our table of contents. I'm going to skip to the gameplay stuff and maybe the story stuff. These are buttons. I think they'll probably show us the buttons in game as well. Maybe if we go to the options, but here we go. Triangle. Well, I'll zoom in. Right, quick, magnify. So let's see if we can get this better looking for you guys. I think 175 is good. All right, our controls are L2 for bullet time, L1 for shoot dodge. They're going to teach us what shoot dodge is, so I'll hold off the explanation. R2 for jumping, which, as much as I love this game, the jumping stuff, the jump in this game is like Devil May Cry levels of awkward. Devil May Cry is, to me, has never had the best jump either. R1 here to shoot and to pick up weapons. We have our directional buttons. We can toggle weapons with up and down, and we can toggle weapon groups with left and right. I forget what the weapon groups means, honestly. So maybe the weapon group is a type of weapon, and then the weapon itself is, because I think in this one Max can carry literally every weapon he picks up, unlike Max Payne 3. I think in Max Payne 2 you can't literally carry every weapon. You have to pick and choose, but I can't remember for sure. We can strafe with the left analog stick. We can crouch with L3. We can pause with both select and start, but select gives us the main menu. Right analog stick is how we move. We do have a Resident Evil-esque quick turn with R3, which is fitting because I'm actually still uploading episodes of Resident Evil to the channel. And we have our zoom. Triangle is the best weapon, huh? I wonder what that means. The most DPS, does it auto pick? I honestly forget a lot of stuff from Max Payne. It's been I don't know how long since I last played. Chosen weapon R1 to switch to it. Oh, okay, so you bring up the weapon wheel or the weapon inventory and you press R1 to choose it. Press the X button to zoom in on your target while using a sniper. Now that is awkward. That is some awkward PS1 era tech right there to switch weapons. And I'm trying to teach you guys how to navigate this menu, but I'm actually having trouble with it. I get to the next page. I don't think I gotta zoom in to get to the next page. Oh, cool. Okay, so we don't really have to zoom in like that or to magnify. We can just do full screen. Okay, yeah, we'll just do full screen then. Okay. Thanks for buying this game. Max is not your typical hero. A hero has a choice whether or not to risk his life. Max is simply trying to fight his way out of an impossible situation. Life dealt him a bad hand, but a good poker player can turn a bad hand into a winner. Among the many innovations of this game is bullet time gameplay. It adds an entirely new dimension to action games, the dimension of time itself, which is a weird power to give a hard-boiled detective, you know what I mean? It's just basically an extension of adrenaline. But literally as a gameplay mechanic, it manifests itself as like time manipulation, which is crazy, right? But that's just Remedy. Remedy is an awesome company. So let's go ahead and keep reading. We're not going to explain why Max can shift time. Okay. Yeah, see, I should have kept reading because this is exactly where my mind is at. We're not going to explain why Max can shift time in his favor. Maybe he enters a state of high concentration. Right. This is how I think of it. Like a fully focused athlete in the zone. And for him, time seems to slow down with adrenaline pumping through his veins, forcing his body into a higher gear. The bottom line is that Max can do it, and is one of the most fun gameplay innovations in the 3D action genre. It sure was, and it still sure is. Max Payne, way ahead of his time, even still to this day. Please use this feature often, as it will save your butt. Yes. You'll notice too that the story in Max Payne has not been shortchanged. It's integral to the action and enriches the entire game experience. The story is presented in many ways throughout the game, but most often through the game's graphic novel system. No other 3D action game has used this graphic novel approach, which we believe adds a depth to the story not possible by other methods. We hope you'll agree. I completely agree. Even Max Payne 3, as much as I love it, loses a little bit of the charm that this game has. Like if you go back to play Max Payne 3, the graphics at the time were amazing, but you know, I go back and play it now and they certainly do look dated. As good as they look, they certainly do look dated. But I'm thinking this game with the graphic novel stuff is gonna still look as amazing as I thought it looked, you know, when I was like a teenager or preteen. Finally, Max Payne is the first action game that actually monitors your ability to play. Yes, I remember that. And auto adjust the difficulty level to match your playing ability. So this was the first game I played that actually did that. Max Payne 2 also did it, famously for me, because Max Payne 2 for me was pretty difficult. And then Resident Evil, the initial one, was another game that did it. Resident Evil 4, I should say. I called it the original, but I meant Resident Evil 4 original. So yeah, awesome. Max Payne took a long time to make, and the dedication and talent of a lot of people who devoted much of their lives to this long project. But to a person, everyone involved in this game is proud of the resulting accomplishment. And more important, we hope you'll enjoy it as much as we think you will. Oh my goodness. So they knew they had something special with this. Oh, and don't worry, you'll be seeing more of Max in the future. Dimension Films and Collision Entertainment are teaming up to make a feature film based on Max Payne, and further adventures of this character are already in the works. So this is funny because a film was eventually made. I don't know if Dimension made it, but if this is the same deal as I wonder if this is the same deal as when the movie was actually made, because the movie was eventually made like circa, I think like 2018, or not 2018, I'm sorry, like around about 2008, I think, because I remember watching that movie around that era. Like I think it was definitely before 2012, but I think sometime after 2008, in between those 4 years that the Max Payne movie came out. So I wonder if Dimension were the ones who made it. I think I'm actually gonna look that up. I could do it now, but I kind of want to just get through the manual. Thanks again, Remedy and 3D Realms Entertainment. So let's go ahead and get into the prologue. I know this is kind of long, but that's why I want to separate it from the actual first episode. So in the back seat of a moving car, I am cut loose from the city. It watches me pass with sharp neon eyes. The night has gilded the skyscrapers in silver. Every brick wall is covered with graffiti. The image of a green V with a syringe in the middle, repeated over and over. V for Valkyr, the drug. The red and blue of the police cars' lights flash in the white snow. Something goes clink in the night, and the sound is close enough to a gunshot to take me back to the beginning. My last meeting with Alex before I went undercover. Sitting in a crummy diner opposite me, he had grinned, a friendly bear, but I had seen it in his eyes. We hadn't been on the side of the winners in a long time. He was playing it safe, talking shop. To get to the source, we need to get to Jack Lupino. For that, we need the trust of the small timers in the Punchinello family. Joey and Virgilio Finito, Lupino's #1 man, Vinny Gognitti, all the wise guys. It must have been there. The sign of things to come, clear in the fear in Alex's eyes, in the darkness of the coffee I was drinking, in the way my Beretta dug painfully into my side. But we were blind to it then, closing our eyes to it, refusing to see. Later that night, Max Payne, as a DEA special agent, was erased from the vast network of databases and replaced with a new version of me. Max Payne, the career criminal with a mile-long rap sheet. A couple of days ago, it had all come crashing down. The bad things came, like a winter storm, pushed me over the edge. I found myself in that cold no man's land between right and wrong. No road signs, on a crash course with the mafia. With nothing else to lose, the NYPD was trailing me by the dotted line of empty shell casings that I left behind. I was trying to look for the answers, but every gunshot, instead of closure, was just a hole with more questions leaking out. A spreading labyrinth of questions, like a pool of blood spreading on the snow. I'm just gonna move my microphone, guys. The car stops in the traffic lights. Outside, the light paints snow red. I'm just gonna reread that. Outside, the light paints snow red, like the whole city was in flames. But inside, in the shadows of the car, it's all done in blues. I know I'm lying to myself. No amount of painkillers can keep this ache away. No lie can hold it. No lie can hide it. I'm not really in the backseat of this car. It didn't start in the diner with Alex. It started 3 years ago, in my bedroom. And I hadn't left that room since. The killer dead at my feet on the floor. Michelle lying on the bed. Bullet holes like rubies on her chest. Our baby's cry cut short. The absence of it heavy in the air. That gunshot, like an exclamation mark, to end it all. The answer to all my questions had already rung out a long time ago. Even its echo's gone. The gun was fused to my hand from that moment on. That room, inside me, everywhere I go. Especially now as the city presses close to the windows of the car, its monstrous heartbeat under the tires. My squinted eyes in the rearview mirror, my hands numb and held awkwardly behind my back. Everything that came after that room is a hopeless mess, a chaotic swirl, rising nausea that tastes like rust in my mouth. To make any kind of sense of it, I need to go back 3 years, back to the night the pain started. Yeah, Max Payne. What makes Max Payne special is this presentation, this very novel-esque presentation, this very literal or literary presentation. You know, lots of metaphors. Max Payne, a very poetic game. At the end of the day, you guys will see that. You guys will see that. Even, you know, as a kid, I never really got the Nordic references really until Max Payne 2. That's when the Nordic references were too blatant to ignore. But in this one, you know, they were subtle enough to where I didn't pick up on it, and I was ignorant enough to where I didn't I didn't even think that the developer was Nordic, because I think Rockstar published this, so I just assumed an American company made it, and I just looked at the story as a a very, not surface level, but a very plain, not even plain, that's not the word I'm looking for, but a very obvious hard-boiled detective story, just very well written with a really cool character. But this game is very influenced by the culture of the developers, the Nordic culture, and that's why I'm playing this after Hellblade. I bought these at the same time for no reason. They were just both on sale, and just serendipity. They're both, they both are heavily inspired by Norse mythology. All right, we got basic stuff, tutorials, new game, saving. Max Payne has auto saves, and we can also manually save it, but we have to reach particular save points. The second game in the series does away with that. You can save anywhere, but this game has save points and auto saves. The thing with the second game is when I used to have a PS2 memory card, it used to take up a lot of space to save anywhere. Like I think 1,000 kilobytes, I think, which on that was a lot. All right, and this is saving. We won't have to worry about that. We're using modern stuff, modern hardware. We do have an auto aim and a soft lock. So what's the difference here? Auto aim must be enabled. We don't use auto aim here in this household. To enable auto lock. Auto lock is the automatic auto aim and is defaulted to be disabled, right? When aiming lock is enabled, you will find that your accuracy is greatly increased. If aiming lock, aka automatic auto aim, is disabled, but auto aiming is enabled, the user still has the option of activating auto aim manually by holding the R3 button. Disabling auto aim disables aiming lock and user activated auto aiming. So this explanation is kind of, I don't know if I can't focus on it, but yeah, it's kind of confusing. So it seems like if you can only use aiming lock when you have auto aiming enabled. Aiming lock is literally what do you call it? What do they call it in other games? Lock on. Aiming lock is just lock on. So you hit a button, R3, and you just immediately snap to the target. Auto aim is something different. I don't know if they properly explain what it is here. Aiming lock to be enabled. Aiming lock is the automatic auto aim and defaulted to be disabled. When aiming lock is enabled, that's aiming lock. Auto aiming must be enabled. Auto aiming is enabled of activating auto aim manually. Well, what is the difference? What is the difference? They don't really delineate the difference here. Automatic. Oh, so okay. Auto aim, you have to press a button to do it, and I was too focused on what's the difference between the two mechanics. They're literally essentially the same mechanic, but aiming lock just does it automatically. I don't have to press a button to snap to the next target, which I think would play weird. So I think once we beat the game, I might try that out. Look spring. Look spring is a feature. When the look spring feature is enabled, Max's point of view will return to straight ahead and level as he begins to move. Return to straight ahead. I don't really like automatic stuff. I like to control my character fully, so I think we're gonna not use that. Auto weapon change. When this feature is enabled, Max will automatically switch to his best weapon. I don't think we're gonna do that either. For example, if auto weapon change is enabled and Max has the Beretta and he finds the Desert Eagle, then Max will automatically switch to Desert Eagle. We're gonna turn that off. Auto weapon change, we're gonna turn that off. Bullet time 8, this handy function will turn bullet time off for you automatically after you have performed a shoot dodge maneuver. I think we're gonna use that. We're gonna use bullet time 8 so we don't have to continuously mess with that. Gameplay tips. Okay, we might keep that on. I think I'll keep that on. Motion blur. Okay, we'll keep that on. Sound. Items use X. Interactive. Okay, fair enough. 2 ways to pause. All right, we'll figure that out anyway. The graphic novel. Max Payne's graphic novel appears throughout the game, and it drives the twisting roller coaster of a story. The graphic novel introduces new surroundings, characters, and plot twists, and reveals information that Max Payne will need to uncover the truth. When you encounter new pages of the graphic novel, just sit back and enjoy the show, complete with full voice acting and sound effects, and you'll be returned to the game as soon as the current pages are completed. If you wish to, you may bypass most graphic novel screens by pressing the X button. Also cool. Basically, you can skip cutscenes. Weapon sneak peek. Max will eventually have 15 weapon options at his disposal, giving him a deadly arsenal with which to battle the murderous enemies that stalk him in the dark night of the city. To get started, we've included essential information on 4 of them. Remember that each weapon will automatically reload when it runs out of ammo, or you can manually reload anytime by pressing square. So we got the Beretta, pump action, Desert Eagle, and the Molotov cocktail. Cool. So we're gonna skip reading that because this is already getting long. I didn't want this to be like 20 minutes. But yeah, we have everything here, and this stuff's cool. This, I would actually spend like an hour going through the manual, or like a half, however long it took when I was a kid. So this is super cool. And the painkiller stuff, I am going to read the painkiller and the bullet time, because the painkiller actually is a very unique and interesting mechanic we kind of took for granted. I know I did when I was younger. So reduce pain by using the painkillers found in various locations in the game. You can carry a maximum 8 at any one time. Keep in mind that when you take a painkiller, it only heals a fraction of Max's total health, and it will take a few seconds for it to take full effect, as indicated by a faded red color. This faded red color indicates the real health status of Max, and further damage to Max will be added on top of the faded red, not the solid red. So you may choose to take a painkiller or painkillers as needed, and let them take full effect before entering further combat against the enemies. So as a game designer, as a wannabe game designer, I haven't made any major games of note, just kind of, putzing around. This is pretty damn sophisticated, and the way they show us this mechanic is very intuitive. Just the fact that you have the dark red, lighter red, and then white to determine Max's health status just makes it really easy to understand. But behind the scenes, what's actually happening is I don't know if this game came before Halo. I think it did, but I'm not. I think they came out the same year, as a matter of fact. But don't quote me on that. Anyways, bullet time. Bullet time is the heart of Max Payne's combat maneuvers. When pressed into a tight spot, Max can activate bullet time, which will slow the action around him while allowing him to aim his weapons in real time. This is very effective for getting the drop on multiple enemies, and even allows Max to dodge oncoming bullets. You can use bullet time as much as you want, but it is a limited resource, and it will drain over time, as indicated by the hourglass in the lower left of the screen. Once activated, bullet time can be toggled on and off by pressing the bullet time button, which is L2 by default. I'm trying to remember that, L2. Again, Max will take a little more bullet time for every enemy he takes out. Cool. We'll gain a little bit more bullet time for every enemy he takes out. Also, using bullet time while sniping will help your aim. You will naturally not be able to shoot dodge while using the sniper rifle. Shoot dodging is cool too. I'm just kind of seeing what all we got here, because I think my mom's texting me. We do got different difficulties too. I think what we'll do is we'll come back to the manual, but I will actually, let me just take a break here, and then I'll cut this section out right after, because I got to see what she's texting me about. All right, continuing on, guys, we'll talk about shoot dodging. In addition to normal dodges and bullet time, Max can also shoot dodge by pressing the shoot dodge button, which is R2. While moving, Max will do a shoot dodge dive in slow motion in whatever direction Max is moving in. This will cost you a little bullet time each time you perform this maneuver, but it will give you an incredible edge in combat. If you don't have any bullet time left, Max will do a normal rolling dodge instead of the slow motion shoot dodge, and you will hear a warning sound. Remember that by shoot dodging, the action slows down around Max, but he can still aim in real time. So shoot dodging is something I used to spam. I'm gonna hopefully do a lot less of it than I used to when I was younger, because I think I've gained an appreciation for just bullet time after playing Max Payne 3. So I think I can play these older games a little better. So we'll see what I do. And we also have dodging. Dodging is an effective defensive move that can be performed in any direction except forward. All right. Be performed in any direction except forward, which results in a regular forward jump. Dodging is performed by moving in any direction and pressing the shoot dodge button, L2. Simultaneously, by performing dodges, Max can avoid getting shot by the enemies who are trying their best to put nails in his coffin. I love whoever's writing this thing. I love them to death. During combat, the game sometimes performs cinematic shots where the camera moves to highlight the action. These are super cool. Enemies flying backwards in slow motion, etc. Bullet cam is sometimes used with the sniper rifle. This is not only helpful in aiming, but also shows a very cool perspective of the action. You can interrupt some of these cinematic shots by pressing X. That's cool too. No, cinematic shots are super effing dope. Another thing that they kind of pioneered. I don't know if any game before them did that. If so, sorry, I'm ignorant of them. But sorry to them for pioneering something that I'm maybe not knowing about. But Max Payne did it in a very stylish and polished way. So kudos to Max Payne, the devs. We got difficulty and gameplay modes. Fugitives are default. And you get additional gameplay modes by beating the previous one. So it just goes, except New York Minute. You unlock New York Minute as soon as you complete Fugitive. It's kind of separate. But Hard Boil is the next difficulty up. A more challenging version of the game, Max's healing process is slower and his health lower. Auto aim is scaled down. You have to complete the game in fugitive mode, like I previously said. Dead on Arrival, the real challenge, no holds barred anymore. This is only for the advanced players. Beating Dead on Arrival mode is the true mark of a hardcore gamer. No auto aim here, and the bad guys are really beefed up. Go for those headshots. Max's health is the same as in Hard Boiled, but his healing is drastically toned down. And you only have 7 save games to complete each map. Which for some maps, super easy, but for others, and I wonder what they mean by a map. I think they just mean the beginning and end of a level. And those aren't too long if I recall correctly, but there are a few, for instance, the dream sequences, which can really chew you up because I think they're going to be as annoying as I remember them, as difficult as I remember them. So that's going to be, you also have to complete the game. Right, we already said that. And New York Minute, this is a hectic mode for speed running. You must complete the fugitive mode. Each map starts with a timer ticking down. If the timer reaches 0, Max is out. Taking out enemies buys you more time. Graphic novels and cinematics stop the timer, and the timer slows down in bullet time. So I've never really been interested in New York Minute. But if I'm having enough fun, I might consider playing that. But we might do Hard Boiled. Hard Boiled and Dead on Arrival do sound fun to me. So we'll just see, because if I had unlimited time, then for sure we do these two, but life gets in the way all the time. So I think we might do a Hard Boiled playthrough. Just depends on how long the story is going to take us, but I'm going to think about it, because this sounds like a lot of fun, and this also sounds like a lot of fun, honestly. General gameplay tips. If Max crouches, he presents a smaller target and is therefore less likely to get hit. And we crouch behind obstacles. Shoot dodging, bullet time. Gunfights is keep moving, of course. The enemies are, I think even in this one, the enemies are pretty smart. And they come out of places that put you at a disadvantage sometime. You are usually rewarded for exploring the environment, and you never know where those painkillers are hiding. That is true. You definitely want those painkillers. Another important point with Max Payne is that it's the first game to realistically model individual bullets, as opposed to traveling from your gun to your target in an impossibly fast instant. So no hit scanning. I think I'm using that term right. So if your target is quite a ways away, your shots will take a noticeable fraction of a second to reach your target. When you activate bullet time, you'll actually get to see the bullets whizzing very quickly through the air as everything is slowed down, an effect never seen in a video game before. They pioneered so much cool stuff in this game. Oh my goodness. Don't pass up the notes, TV or radio broadcasts, or other things Max is interested in while you are playing. Take the time to use these items and get information. And this is our team. These guys are all, I'm not sure exactly what country they're from. I know it's a Nordic country, but I'm not exactly sure which one. But of course, these are the names. The name that I recognize right off the bat is Peter Hodgeby, because he's the guy who does the music, and I listen to his music, especially this game soundtrack, quite a bit. And Sam Lake, definitely I know who Sam Lake is. Sam Lake is actually our Max Payne. Just trying to get like an image. This is Sam Lake right here. He's our story guy. He's our Max Payne. He's our cinematic guy. He's the guy. This Sam Lake guy. And this is the rest of our team, our awesome team. Programmers on point, graphic design on point, level design on point, man. Project lead. I don't know much about Petrie, but I do want to look him up because I freaking love this game. Okay, and I just want to show some reverence to the team here, so I'm spending a little bit of extra time just showing you guys their names because they deserve it. They effing deserve it. Oh, voiceover is cool too. I think this Max Payne is different from the Max Payne in number 2. And I believe the Max Payne in number 2 is the same Max Payne as the one in number 3. But I think the first game's Max Payne is different, is a different voice. Okay, these are the voice talents. All right, and rest in peace, Doug Myers. But this is our team here, and I definitely appreciate them. And last but not least, they're going to give us the plug for the Brady strategy guide, just to make sure everybody in the industry eats. So awesome, definitely takes me back. And yeah, we spent a lot of time on this, so hopefully you guys strapped in. Hopefully you guys are ready. This is just our prelude to the game, and we're all set. So next thing you guys will see me playing the game. So thank you guys, see you soon, enjoy Max Payne, let me know what you guys think, but take care guys, peace. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Occult Gaming channel with me, your host, Bella Wright, and welcome to Max Payne. And there's that classic theme song. I used to love this junk as a kid. As a preteen, I should say. So we're gonna jump into it. I'm always wondering how should I start these videos. I always try to change it up a little bit. The opening to this isn't as impressive as I would have hoped because the video is like, it's a video and videos are never really upscaled properly in these things. Yeah, as you can see. Yeah. So I probably should have talked before the video play because I like to let the gameplay speak for itself. But that's a really old looking video, really janky looking video. So okay, Max Payne does not. Let's create one. Let's do it. Dum, 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 dum. So previously we did actually do we read the instruction manual. So if you guys want to check that out, that's like 35 minutes of me reading the instruction manual, but it was fun. This is our buttons. Shoot dodge is L1, bullet time L2, jump is R2, pick up and shoot is R1, best weapon, painkiller, zoom, reload. I don't really like zoom on X, but I think I'm just gonna get used to it. Quick turn strafe was 2, bullet time L2, always L2, shoot dodge, jump L1. I kind of like jump on L1, shoot dodge R2. Then you can move with the D-pad. Weapon select is, see, if they kept everything else the same but swapped shoot dodge and jump, I'd be okay with that. Then R3 is auto aim. Nah, I don't like that. Let's see. R3 bullet time. Shoot is R1. Shoot. Okay, shoot's always R1. Jump, auto aim. Shoot dodge. Choose weapons, move. So that's similar to this one, but they swapped. Quick time, auto aim, and there's no quick turn on this one. No quick turn on this one. We're just gonna go default. Okay, and there's some options I actually wanted to adjust. So I think I don't want auto aim, but if it's default, we want bullet time 8 on. We want this off, I think. We want this off. Trying to think if I want auto aiming. Not really. We're gonna do it without auto aim because the harder difficulties soften it anyway, so we're gonna play without it. Okay, I think we're good with this. Go ahead and get into it. We could do a tutorial just to get used to everything. I forgot how the tutorial goes. This is just this. So this will be a separate video, guys. We're just gonna run through the tutorial because I believe this is like an infinite sandbox. Oh, this is like reverse controls. I don't like that. Nah, I don't like inverse. Hold on. I don't like the inverse, guys. I really don't like inverse controls. Thank goodness. Turn that up a bit since we're all manual. Dead zone, I don't really know. I guess we just gotta fill it out. Ooh, that's kind of crazy. Huh. I mean, gameplay wise, that's great. I'm also trying to capture a mood here. So I don't know if like an erratic camera is gonna help me capture that mood. Let's just turn it down just a little bit. Once the gameplay cranks up though, we'll probably end up turning it back up. Okay, that's a bit more sensible. Before it was very spastic, but we're probably gonna go with that anyway. Man, I kind of missed that sound effect. So now instead of it switching us to the strongest gun, we're gonna have to do it manually. I get the lead pipe. Okay. That automatically switches us to the best weapon. Probably shoot. Whoa. I gotta remember that there's no aiming. We just gotta do it. We just gotta raw dog it. Oh, I already did. There we go. There we go. There's the shoot dodge. Two. Okay, shoot dodge just uses up like a chunk of bullet time. The thing with shoot dodge is like you might not end up in a position that you want, so you really got to think about positioning when you use it. That's R2. Okay, jumping actually isn't as bad as I remember it being. There's the roll. It's a little awkward, but he gets a decent amount of height on it at the very least. What's the next phone? Yeah, I remember being kind of terrified of this game. And just practicing in this mode like for a long time until I became brave enough to actually play the yeah, I'm already struggling here. So yeah, these games terrify you. Ooh. These games terrify you. Just trying to figure out the crouch button. Okay, there we go. That's cool. I'm gonna switch to dual Berettas. We're gonna summon more enemies. So the controls do take some getting used to, for sure. That's not annoying. That's definitely not annoying. Okay, I think that's really it. Like, I think we can summon enemies like infinitely. I don't know what they wanted me to do down here. They want me to like mess around with this, or oh, I see. Cool. Sniper rifle time. Yeah, let's move away from this police car. From the side alley. This must be the side alley. Actually switch. Okay. Oh, this is kind of crazy. X. Oh. There it is. Awesome. Awesome. Alright, we'll just take out a couple more enemies and call it a day. Ooh. I guess you can't shoot dodge with sniper. So bullet time does refill when you kill enemies. Yeah, guess it doesn't. So I said in the previous when I was going through the instruction manual that I would try not to shoot dodge as much, but I'm kind of struggling with the aiming, so I think I'm still going to be spamming shoot dodge. Oh, they won't let me use the enemy dispenser. Huh. Oh. Oh, he's still there, that's why. Okay, we'll do one more round. So I can already tell I'm gonna struggle. I am going to struggle. For sure. Okay, that was good. Alright, we got him over there. Okay, I'm just trying to see how things go without the bullet time on. Yeah, this is rough. Because the bullets travel, it's not like hit scan, so it's rough. Okay, I gotta do one more just to get a feel for everything. Out of that, just about. Okay, I could just spam Beretta. When in doubt, spam it out. Okay, cool. Alright, yeah, I'm definitely gonna struggle, but this is gonna be fun. So, alright guys, that's it for the tutorial. When I see you guys next time, we're gonna be doing the actual game. We're just getting everything situated in this episode. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm thinking, I don't know, I might just tack this, combine this with the instruction, maybe, I don't know. But whatever the case, guys, I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Till next time, everybody. Peace.